Given the economy of LA, would you recommend a young screenwriter move to this city to pursue that profession?
That's a great question. I mean, it's definitely challenging, but I would still say that this is a good place to be
Hmm.
because I've gotten some of my writing jobs just from meeting people at networking events.
Right.
So I just think it's still the hub. I think it still will be the hub. And there's still like deals happening. There's some exciting things in the works. And some of that also stems from LA.
Many of us move to Los Angeles to pursue a dream of breaking into the film industry. We get to know our beloved characters on screen, but who is the person behind the camera? I'm your show host, Olivia Lyle, and welcome to Coffee and Conversations.
Kimberly, our very first screenwriter here at Coffee and Conversations. How you doing?
I'm doing great. I'm so excited to be here and honored to be the first screenwriter.
Very exciting. So before we jump in, we always like to ask our guests what your go-to coffee is.
I have a Keurig finally, and I just love my Keurig. So I have the Cinnabon brand coffee,
Ooh.
and I just put a little bit of milk in it, usually skim or almond. And I just am in love with that. Though when I'm at a restaurant, I've
Mhm.
only 2 years ago found cappuccinos. So I know that sounds funny.
It's a little late in life.
It is a little late, yeah. But now it's like, now I only have it when I'm at a fancy place. I don't know why. To me, it seems like it has to be fancy.
Yes.
But otherwise, good old Keurig.
I like it. And when you're writing, do you need coffee? Is that like a must for you?
Yeah, I think so. I
Yeah.
think so. At least one in the morning. But when it comes to lunchtime, I do love my Diet Coke.
There we
So,
go.
hmm
Got to keep it interesting.
yeah.
Okay. And so now I'd love for you just to share your heart with us and tell us who you are, where you're from, and what you do.
Yeah. So I'm a screenwriter. I do like faith and family features mostly, but I am venturing into TV. And I love the grittier faith. So that's definitely a heart of mine is to do wholesome but real stories that just kind of share the hardships of life.
Mhm.
I'm sort of from Birmingham, Alabama, but I lived in 5 states as a kid and I lived in 5 states as an adult. So I've been in Los Angeles for over 10 years now. So this is the longest I've lived anywhere. So it definitely feels like home.
Mm.
Met my husband here, so yeah.
Oh.
So crazy, interesting life, but it's been good.
Yeah. Okay. So been in LA for 10 years. What was your
Mhm.
journey like becoming a screenwriter here in LA?
Well, I found screenwriting. I used to be a stage manager. So long story, my degree's theater. I lived in New York City. I was a stage manager. I loved that very much. But when I went back to college, I took screenwriting and I fell in love with it. So that was about 13 years ago.
Okay.
And so once I officially got my degree, I moved to LA.
Mhm.
And then in terms of my journey here, I've been an assistant, at different management companies, agencies. I was in the mailroom at APA.
Mm.
And that's where now I have my agent there. And so I love that. And it's been a great journey just meeting people, going to conferences, and just trying to keep writing, always get better and better, hopefully.
Amazing. Yeah. For writers out there who want to get representation, what was your process in getting an agent?
Yeah, I mean, for me, I definitely got blessed because my agent believed in me
Mm.
probably before I deserved it.
Yeah.
But essentially, I was in the mailroom and she was an assistant. So I met her, I think, 8.5 years ago.
Okay.
And once she moved up and became an agent, she hip pocketed me. And then I've been officially a client for about 2.5 years. So very honored. I love IAG, which used to be APA.
Okay.
So love that. But in general, it is networking for in general, but also there's things like virtual pitch fest where my friends, you pay to submit a query letter to
Mm.
managers, and some agents, but I think managers on there are really solid. And
Yeah.
it's just, I think that's a great way to do it. And even send queries in
Mhm.
general.
Do you think, like, let's say you had a new writer come to you with a dream to pursue it here in LA, would you recommend for sure to get an agent?
Um, I think a manager usually is the first course of action. So
Okay.
I think a manager is first, and then you might need an agent later because managers might have more time to give you notes and develop. My agent does give me notes, so
Mm.
she sometimes acts like a manager in a good way. So that's really great. But they're busy, they just don't have a lot of time to give
Yeah.
you tons of notes. So sometimes doing a manager first is what I would suggest, and an agent comes along when you really need one.
Got you.
So
Okay. And given the economy of LA, would you recommend a young screenwriter move to this city to pursue that profession?
that's a great question. I mean, it's definitely challenging, but I would still say that this is a good place to be
Hmm.
because I've gotten some of my writing jobs just from meeting people at networking events.
Right.
So I just think it's still the hub. I think it still will be the hub. And there's still like deals happening. There's some exciting things in the works. And some of that also stems from LA. So
Yeah.
I still think it's the place to be. I know I'm from Alabama mostly, so people even 10 years ago were saying move to Atlanta, but I just don't know if that's true for the above the line people as much. So, like directors and writers, that's my personal opinion.
Yeah.
It is hard here, but I still think it's the place.
As a writer, I'm so curious. Like, you pour your heart and soul into this story, and then that's it. Then you pass it over to a director to, make it into a film or a series. Like, do you ever want to try your hand at directing and bring that story into full vision?
That's a great question. At the moment, no. I don't have an immediate desire just because it is such a challenging profession as a director.
Mhm.
So I don't think I want to take the time to get good enough at that yet. I think I just want to focus and be the best screenwriter I can be.
Mhm.
And then maybe 5 to 10 years from now, if it works out, perhaps, or if I'm on a TV show that I wrote and then maybe I direct an episode. That would be where I could see that happening. But
Yeah.
I think it's hard. I took a class in college and
Yeah.
I find it very challenging. I think it's a lot harder. I do love actors, so I love working with actors.
Mm.
But even when I've worked on set, I'm more the AD. That's kind of my personality,
Yeah.
and I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
So I don't think I would cry too hard if I'm just focusing on writing for a while longer. So I
Mm.
really love it.
I know you've worked with our producer of the show, Brandon, on a project. Tell me what that experience was like.
Yes, it was such an honor. He produced and directed a short film that I wrote. It is faith drama, and it was great because he believed in it, and I really appreciated that. And we even had other talks about working on features together, and you never know what'll happen. I've known him for years now,
Yeah.
and so it's been a great friendship no matter what. But he produced it in Colorado. And I'm just honored and I really loved it. I wish I could have been there, but it was too far. But another time.
Mm.
So
Mm.
you never know. But he's doing it. He's writing and directing. And I think if people do have that passion, they should do what he's doing and just keep doing shorts because that's how you keep getting better at that.
Look, I know things are changing. I mean, nothing's been the same since my diagnosis.
It's not the same thing.
It's loss, isn't it? People tell me I'm brave because I'm going through chemo. I guess that's supposed to make me a stronger person. But most days, I don't feel brave at all. I mean, I can barely even get out of bed.
What do you want? A medal? Take one. Heck, take all of them.
I would give anything to be healthy. Don't take that for granted.
You don't know my pain.
And you don't know mine. If you want to throw away your life, go ahead.
As a writer, when you get writer's block and you're stuck, what do you do to propel you forward? Like a certain environment that helps you, or what's your go-to kind of trick to get you out of a funk, maybe?
That's a great question. Well, one place I do like to write is my local Chipotle. My friends give me so much, you know, trouble for it on Facebook because I'm always posting. But there's a brand new one near me that's beautiful and comfortable, and they know me, and they're like, "Oh, how are your scripts coming?" They sometimes give me a Diet Coke for free. Like I love them.
That's
Um,
hilarious.
they're awesome, and I go right when they open, so it's really quiet. So I
Mm.
just love going there. And that's just a general where I really like to just get out of my apartment.
Yes.
But in general, there's different exercises I've gotten over the years where it really helps you think differently. And like sometimes you get scenes out of them or lines out of them, but
Yeah.
they just get you thinking. And those prompts are really important.
Mhm.
The other thing I love about screenwriting is it's so logistical. So there's times when I'm like not really creatively focused, but I really want to get something done that day.
Mhm.
So I'll just think logistically. So I'll say, okay, well, let me look at every scene heading. Let me make sure it's formatted correctly. Let me just proofread. I'm working on a thriller right now that's the second half is giving me a lot of trouble. But I keep proofreading the first half and that's working and at least it's getting stronger. And today I probably need to get back to the second half. But it's like it still helps. Like I'm still making the first half better. It's just easier when you're like, okay, let me proofread. It's less on your brain. Or I can read a book on screenwriting if I really want to do something that's, less brain power. But
Right.
you definitely need to just keep doing something
Yeah.
for sure.
Have you ever written a book?
No, sorry. I haven't written a book, but I read a lot of screenwriting books.
No,
So
no, but my
that's
question,
oh
like, have you
no.
ever, no, that doesn't interest you at all?
Not at the moment, no. But
Yeah.
I work a lot with novelists,
Okay.
so they'll hire me. I do consulting full time at the moment,
Okay.
where they'll hire me to help them adapt their book or it's their life story into a screenplay. So I read a lot of books, especially for that. Usually the ones I'm working for hire. But I do enjoy reading. So if I'm either reading something for hire for that, or I'm reading a screenwriting book to get better at screenwriting. But I have not written a book. Again, maybe 10 years down the line. I don't know.
Yeah, is
I'm
it
not
like a
very.
completely different thing?
Yes, I think so. But I will say this, I am writing a play at the moment.
That's exciting.
And that's also different. But since my degree is theater and my passion is theater, at least that's where it started,
Mhm.
I'm enjoying that a lot. And I'm kind of trying to do a lot of things at once. I don't want to just do the play because I want to make sure my other writing is moving forward. But
Yeah.
I am enjoying that. But then again, like to your question, the book, that's a whole nother brain. And I do
Yeah.
think it's harder. I mean, they're different, I suppose, but
Mhm.
it would be harder for me to try to do that.
Would it be longer to write a full novel than to write a film or a series?
I think so,
Yeah.
just because it's literally so many more words, even just proofreading it, that would take days.
Yeah.
So I admire it a lot. I do.
Mhm.
But I prefer taking the novel and making it into a movie.
Right.
So,
Seeing that vision come to life for
mhm.
sure. And so tell me, what projects are you currently working on right now?
Yeah, there's a lot of exciting things in the works. And a lot of it, is like my agent has been helping with. So I have like an adventure drama that's like a survival type, and it's deals with a disabled veteran. And so we have a company attached and we have a director attached, and we just got rejected by our first studio, but that's okay. And hopefully we'll be sending it to other ones soon. So
Congrats.
that's exciting. And then the newest thing I've been writing is actually a TV pilot, which I'm really excited about because it's a medical procedural. So it's ER meets Touched by an Angel. So it has faith.
I love Touched by an Angel growing up. My sister and I watched that so much.
Absolutely, me too. I mean, my husband and I just rewatched a lot of them the last couple of years.
So fun.
I love Touched by an Angel. It's such
Yeah.
a good show.
Mhm.
But yeah, I mean, so I like that it's mainstream but has some faith, and so I'm excited about that. And I just got a producer on board yesterday, and we're sending it out hopefully on Monday. So excited about the possibilities. Like it is, as they say, it's like a rough market, but anything is possible. So I think that's what's really fun about Los
Yeah.
Angeles still.
You're a busy gal. So busy. What was
Thanks.
it like, if I can ask, during the writer's strike? How was that time in your life?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not technically in the union, so I have written for hire. I've done 9 features for hire, and most haven't been made yet. But it's like trusting God with the timing, and
Yeah.
there's still some possibilities. But I'm grateful for the work,
Mm.
but those are non-union projects,
Right.
and so sometimes I'll work with an independent producer or a novelist. But still, it still affected all writers, of course, because
Yeah.
we couldn't work. And it was definitely sad for like my friends who were TV writers who couldn't do that. I was dealing with some injuries, so I couldn't really participate as much
Mm.
in like the protests
Uh,
or like the strikes. But it was just a sad time.
mhm.
But it was a good time to read scripts. So I think some of my friends did that as well.
Yeah.
So I read a lot of pilots, which hopefully helped prepare me to then write my own.
Mhm.
But I mean, hopefully it's all for the better of writers long term.
Mhm.
So I think, I still support that, of course.
Yeah.
And I do look forward to joining the WGA at the right time.
Yeah.
So, it's just all a matter of timing.
Mhm.
It's not in my hands anyway. It's just in God's hands, and
Yeah.
depends on what projects come your way and how it all goes. So,
Well, I think you're doing incredible work. When I first read your bio, I was like, damn, this girl has a lot of credits. If you had to go
thanks.
back 10 years, like when you first moved to LA, what is one
Mhm.
piece of advice that you would give younger Kimberly?
Yeah, I would say to keep networking, maybe even more. especially when you're an assistant, it's really challenging because you're working long hours. And I know when I was first an assistant at a management company, I also was a personal assistant to a TV writer. So I had two jobs. And so I didn't have as much time to network. I still tried,
Mhm.
but I found that to be hard. You're just tired and you're trying to write.
Yeah, yeah.
But I would still say to push through and network as much as possible because then now I have a lot of friends who have moved up and they're working at different companies and I'm proud of them, or they're TV writers and I'm really proud of them. And I have some great friends here and we're all just trying to make it, and but the networking really matters long term because those people keep moving up and you help each other. So that's what's fun about it.
Yeah, very, very good point. And okay, now we're gonna finish off with just a couple of fun, quick popcorn questions. You ready?
Okay, I'm ready.
Okay. Favorite place to eat in LA?
You're gonna laugh if I say
Chipotle!
maybe Olive Garden. Yeah, I mean, truly, I'm like a chain restaurant girl.
It's okay.
So and I drag my friends there. So I do get-togethers at Olive Garden with friends. So
There you go.
I guess I'll say that.
That's
I
so
know I'm
good.
not hip. I'm not hip.
Okay, dream vacation spot.
I really want to go to Disney in Hawaii
Ooh,
because
I didn't know they had one there.
I've never been to Hawaii and I still love Disney.
Yeah.
So I guess kind of. Yeah,
That'd be fun.
that would be a goal.
Favorite childhood film?
I mean, immediately what comes to mind is all the Disney ones. Like, I know that sounds funny, but this may not be childhood, but one of my favorite films still is National Treasure. And
I don't think I've seen it.
oh my gosh, if people, I mean, I'm sure true film people think it's cheesy, but I love it so much. I still watch it. I own it. I'm gonna probably watch it again, and so I guess I don't know if that's childhood. I guess that's more. I forget when it came out, but in my early 20s, it affected me.
Yeah, yeah. I love it. Okay, I'll have to watch it.
So I guess that, but all the Disney ones growing up,
Yeah,
for sure.
classic Disney.
Mhm.
Go-to hobby.
I wouldn't say, I guess I can't claim this, but I did go horseback riding recently. And if I could do that more, I would. Because it was very fun. It was nearby here, actually, in Burbank. But also just reading
Yeah.
and going to movies. I do love, and I always drag my friends to movies.
There we go.
Love movies.
There we go.
I know that's not a cool hobby, but
It counts. It counts. And favorite genre of music?
I do Broadway, Frank Sinatra. I do have a little bit of Disney, so I love my Sirius XM radio. So Frank Sinatra when I'm driving in traffic is very peaceful.
I love that. Beautiful. Okay, I'm gonna add another one because I also love Broadway. What's your favorite musical if you had to choose?
Ooh, okay. Probably Ragtime.
Oh,
And it was one of the best things. I interned on Broadway a lot in my early 20s, and I interned on The Glorious Ones, which was off Broadway. And that was written by the same people who wrote Anastasia and Ragtime, Lynn Ahrens and Stephen Flaherty. And they're such an inspiration to me. And working with them was amazing. And so, and anyway, they're just a lot of great experiences. And I love Ragtime. I hope I can see it sometimes.
oh, very cool. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, thanks so much for hanging out with me today on your Saturday morning. Loved getting to know you, and good luck with everything. You're killing it in my books.
Thanks. Thanks so much. Thanks for having me.
Thank you for joining us for Coffee and Conversations. If you're new here, you can watch our previous episodes above. You can also follow us on social media in the links below. And please don't forget to like, subscribe, and share with your friends. If you'd like to be a featured guest on Coffee and Conversations, send us an email and let us know you're interested. I'll see you next time.